Hey, gentlemen. Good morning. So sorry about switching up the times on you guys.
Don't worry.
I started two other groups at the same time yesterday. So there's like 30 people that are new
cool.
across two groups, and so it's like it was definitely a mistake. I should have just like done one at a time. It's like this many
You got
people.
more than you wanted, I guess. With that.
Yeah, dude. You guys.
That.
Yeah, you guys really showed up for that one, and everyone fucking signed up,
Fuck.
which is great. But I like.
That's great. That's great.
It is good, yeah. I mean, none of them are paid, so it's still just kind of an experiment. Like demand definitely there, willingness to pay not certain, how much they pay not certain. So we'll see. But anyways, thanks again. Yeah, let's rock and roll. Let's get started. What's going on, Ruben? Putting you on the spot. Yeah, you're going first.
Fuck. Oh, this is the word. All right. So basically what has happened this week is basically me testing like the application, checking that everything's fine, debugging stuff and so on. Kind of like having the proof of concept in a good way so I can really launch it. But now what I'm gonna do this week and what I've been doing this whole weekend is basically working on the collecting the money. So basically it's the first time I do something like this. I was researching online. I checked Stripe, Paddle. I think I'm gonna use Paddle for now. Let's see how it goes. Yeah, so basically this week and today I'll be working on that. Let's see how far I can go. Yeah, yeah, that's basically my status. Yeah.
Ruben, what percent complete are you? Oh, sorry, Adam.
I was gonna say, like, out of curiosity, why did you end up choosing Paddle over Stripe? And I put it out there just because I'd heard other people, especially people in Europe, used it, but I have no idea why, and I'm kind of curious.
Yeah, kind of like the taxes in Europe is kind of like really annoying because of the amount of countries we have. Yeah, that could be kind of like messy. So Paddle like takes care of that, and it's like super easy. Stripe is also similar. I'll just try with Paddle. Let's see how it goes. Never use any of those, so yeah, let's see.
Cool.
Nice.
Ruben, I was just going to ask what percent complete you are on your MVP.
Let's say 66%.
66. All right.
Yeah, let's say that the rest is like collecting the payment, and like improving the landing page a little bit so I can explain what's there, what can you do and so on. That's about it.
Welcome, Dustin. All right, who'd like to go next?
I can jump in, I guess. Yeah, so I guess this week I was doing a couple of things kind of in parallel, working on like a newsletter and basically just content. And so writing a couple of different articles just so it's not empty, and having some pieces of content just to get started. And then also like later today, I'm going to send an MVP to a couple of people. I'm going to try and schedule a time to do actually like more thorough like user testing, and get some more methodical feedback on just the UI, like UX, make sure that things feel kind of intuitive. But I'm trying to grab people that are just moving into a new home. And so I'm also very aware that they're very busy and trying to do a bunch of things at the same time. So trying to find that balance of, I would love to get some good feedback, but I also know that I'm trying to grab people at a time when they might just want to try something out, but not actually spend much time on a call because it creates a feeling of kind of overhead and like stress that there's time there. So trying to figure out that balance, but later today, I'm going to connect with a couple of people that I have ready to send stuff to. And then on Monday, I'm testing a slightly different version, someone that I haven't even mentioned. I have kind of a prototype of things that I want them to try out, and just someone that I've emailed back and forth with a little bit that has expressed that they definitely want assistance with things. I'm going to take almost a concierge approach to working with them, because it seems like they're more open to spending time on a call and do some more thorough like user interview stuff and try and get a little more feedback from them and almost go above and beyond what the MVP I currently have does and see what extensions of that would be valuable, and kind of use that as an experiment for what can I offer them that I'm actually just putting together as like resources for them that could be useful to put into a product. So those are kind of what I've been doing the past week and what the next couple of days looks like. But I'm curious, just as like an open question for people, I had a couple of things. One is just how much tracking do you guys ever do? Like if you're pushing a product out there to see what a like event tracking funnel looks like from, I mean, in my case, I want someone to like sign up, go through a short onboarding flow and then take a specific action. And so I've plugged it into like Segment and then Amplitude and just trying to do some tracking there. But to what extent you guys have tried out different things like that and best practices you found for doing some just event tracking and seeing what users are actually doing within the products you've made. And then the other thing I kind of want feedback on is there were a couple of things in a user onboarding flow that I had that I was asking questions that created the perception of value, but they weren't actually doing anything behind the scenes. Like I was asking for user preferences and saying like, hey, from a scale of 1 to 5, how important are these things to you? As if I was algorithmically taking that into account and like filtering things for them. I haven't built any of that yet. And so for now, I just kind of took that out. But as far as a concept of having something like that in early on in a product before you've actually built something, if you think that's kind of an interesting thing to try out, or if it's better to just keep it out, keep things simple for now.
Adam, you broke up a little bit. What kind of tracking are you looking for?
So right now I have just a super basic event funnel that I am trying to monitor of someone creates an account, they do a short onboarding flow, and then they take an action I want them to take. And so that's all I've set up for right now. But just like early on, if you guys have done any user tracking and if you think it's valuable early on, I plan on talking with all the people in person anyway. But just for now, like if there's things that you think are useful to just catch at this stage in some kind of tracking format.
I've done tracking in the past, but only when I was spending a lot of ad revenue. I don't know how much statistically usefulness you'll get with just a small set of users, but I don't know. I haven't used it in a case of just using small users.
Part of it too is I think I don't want to have to go into the database every time to see if they've actually gone in and done something. Like it's just helpful where I can at a glance maybe see, hey, this person says something's helpful, but have they actually even logged in recently? So I can connect and validate any feedback I get to the reality of actions that they might be taking.
Okay.
That was part of it too.
I mean, these days it's a lot harder to track, I'd imagine. Like I know, like, you know, the browsers, I use Brave, and I think it shuts down like Google Analytics pretty well, because I remember setting it up. It took me a while to figure out what was going wrong. But I don't know. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, I think a majority of people actually don't block tracking. We did some research on that on my last company, but we also took out tracking from all our websites because we felt in the end like it takes so much time to track a user well, and it's only at least in my opinion, you only really needed to push out these last 20%, but 80% you can just do with like a super simple analytics tool.
Yeah, and I feel like there's no harm in doing it, but like 30 to 40% of people, like George was mentioning, or Jesko, like block ads. So statistical relevance is going to be tricky. But I mean, you're going to learn more from just talking to people at this stage. But I don't think there's anything wrong with like you want people to hit the landing page. Do people exit that workflow, or do people fill it out? You know, just have some kind of goal in mind, and then try and backtrack into like what behaviors led them to complete that goal, and how do you find more people like that? Like, you know what I mean? It might be like you track the goal, they complete the goal, then you like really reach out to them to have a customer interview, because whatever they did or whatever their situation or whatever's going on in their head, you need like 1,000 of those people. Yeah. So it might help you back into like those kinds of answers. Yeah, I agree. I don't know. I've been thinking lately, like Amplitude, Mixed Panel, Google Analytics, like all of that shit gets blocked. I block all of that stuff.
Yeah.
I was almost thinking like, basically you have to host it on your own site, right? So like some kind of open source one that you can just like host on your own site, and then no users they don't block it, because they'd have to block your site in order to stop it. And obviously not track anything. I think Yesco's right. Like just fucking do like a few and just have like a very, very simple like funnel, and that'll get you like most of the way there.
Yeah, mine right now, the way I have it set up, which I've never done a lot of like tracking, and I'm personally against it for most things. I'm not trying to get like marketing tracking or things like that, but it's really specifically like event driven tracking. And I don't know if it's gonna be blocked or not, but I'm doing it with Segment because they have a very generous open tier, and Segment basically just collects the data and like the event tracking, and then from Segment you can push it to different destinations. So if you haven't used Segment, I'm not super knowledgeable about this stuff, but it was recommended to me, so I'm trying it out right now with this. So I'm curious to see if it'll get blocked, because it's not actually Amplitude that's collecting the data, it's Segment, and then Segment sends what's relevant to Amplitude.
My ad blocker blocks Segment. I just checked.
Perfect.
Cool. Thanks, Adam.
Yeah, no worries.
Let's go next.
I'll go. This week I spent most of my time sort of reaching out to users, just emailing people or contacting people who I think would want to use the product. Really just trying to getting people that are interested in collecting some feedback. I seem to have pretty good luck of getting people in contact. People respond to me. But some of the same complaints that I see over and over about the product is still there, and so I got to think about it. A lot of the issues might not be solvable at this point. I'll probably spend a couple of days just thinking about what I want to do here. Yeah. Whether to radically rechange kind of the idea of the product, or to kind of just keep on pushing forward and finding people with different needs for the product, I guess.
So there are engineering problems that you think can't be solved at this time?
Yeah, I mean, latency is one of the issues. For example, when you're creating a trigger, it can take some time for the trigger to push the effect out, and there's not much I can do about that since the voice processing is really being handled on the phone. I mean, there's other things I can do. I mean, there is a lot of, like, nobody seems to understand what it does immediately. It's not super intuitive. There's definitely some work I can do there. And so, but at the same time, people seem to like the concept, but it doesn't work for them in a way where they would switch over from what they're doing right now at this point.
And what are they doing right now?
Most people, they have a professional setup. So they'll have a pro camera, they have a microphone. Some people, you do go around with a selfie stick and an iPhone and go around. So I might want to try to target those people a little bit more. But yeah, so it is a little bit of mix, and I should actually ask a little more what they're doing right now. I haven't asked that too much. I'm more just guessing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yep.
All right. Thanks. Yesco or Dustin?
Yeah, I'll go next. So last week went pretty well, right? I think the site is pretty much up and running now. I think I can leave the site like it is for now and focus on growing it. One thing that I noticed is that I think the pricing model is working out. So I had about 900 unique visitors so far, and only one converted. And also a lot of them don't come back, which is not that good. So I think instead of charging for actually seeing the images, I will just maybe try to make the whole process a bit more annoying. Maybe like make it slow for people who don't pay, or yeah, something along those lines. Yeah, just put a little bit of friction in it. And maybe also try some ads, like running some ads on the site for relevant design things. But I'm gonna have to figure out what those are. But yeah, I'm also gonna take it a bit slower, I think, next week. I don't wanna burn out again. Been going pretty hard on the site last week. So yeah, I don't think I'll do too much. I also tried running some ads, but it's insane. I have to pay like 70 cents per click on Google at least, which is, I don't know, for me, that seems like super strange. So I don't think that's going to work out. Yeah.
Yeah, on Facebook, I'm getting like 36 cents per click right now. You might want to try some Facebook design groups and just hyper target those guys. But on the ads front, I was thinking like, I don't know, I guess you could run like carbon ads or something like that. But I think your site's set up perfectly for when people search, there's an ad in the search results that's like a little more catered. You'll have to like get an audience, right? And like handhold people into showing that there's value there. But I think if people, I'm not sure exactly how it would work, but I could just totally see one of those search results being an ad for something that designers care about and want to click through. And there's a ton of people that would love to reach them. Like you could reach out to Figma. Maybe there's like a Figma ad as one of the search result things. And I think it would be like elegant. It would be like native advertising, and people would respond to it much better than like a carbon ads thing or like banner ads or something like that. If you want to ditch the like monthly payment thing.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely going to ditch it, at least for now. Maybe I'll try implementing it later on when I have a bigger collection or something like that. And I also already have a couple of ideas for people who might be interested in ads. Like a couple of design courses, I think I saw them throw a lot of ads on even smaller platforms. So yeah, I think there's a lot of potential. Yeah. Oh, and Monday, 9 a.m. American time, PST, I think I'm going to launch on Indie Hackers. Cool. So I'll send a link into the group then, not on Indie Hackers, on Product Hunt, that's the one. So I'm going to send a link into the group then.
Awesome. Yeah. Feel free to like @channel so everyone gets like a push notification.
Nice, I will.
Yeah, because otherwise, like, you know, like people might just miss it, but that way at least everyone gets a push, and we got to get you on that front page.
For stuff like this too, like if you're launching on Product Hunt, obviously getting any significant number early on is absolutely going to help the Product Hunt ranking. How do you guys all feel? And Andrew, maybe there's more a question for you, trying to create a community like this, posting just to group 2 versus the like general channel where you have multiple groups all kind of in and it would go to a lot of people.
I have like a very draconian view on this. Like all of this shit is fucking rigged. I want to rig this too for you guys. So like, let's win. I don't give a shit about their like playing fair or anything like that.
Nice.
Works for me.
No pushback on that. All right. Love it. All right. Thanks, Jesko. Dustin?
Hey, guys. So like Jesko, I almost had a burnout this week. But unfortunately, it wasn't working on this, on my my product. It was just work. We had a lot of things going on. So I was still able to work on the site, and at least I got a template and I got a few pages set up. So I went with what Adam suggested, Wix or Squarespace. I chose Squarespace. It was easier for me. I think my goal really is to focus on content and then find users. So fortunately now I'm on 2 weeks holiday. Part of that is that I'm moving this week to a new condo. So not a house, but maybe I could try out your app or website, Adam, if you'd like me to try it out. But I'll still be working on my website, and the goal this week is to create some content, a few articles, and then I'll start reaching out to users on, I was thinking LinkedIn might be the best to target chemical engineers. So that's what I was thinking for right now.
LinkedIn ads or just posting on LinkedIn?
Well, what I've done in the past is I just I guess I could sign up for the premium account, and I just look for other chemical engineers. And I reach out to them like, hey, how's it going? How's your job hunt? Do you need help? And then maybe I'll just say, hey, if you want, I have a lot of resources on this website. You can join a newsletter. Because when I did it in the past without the website, all of them were like, oh yeah, please tell me what do you know? What can I learn to get a job?
And so how close are you to putting the site up?
I don't think I'm ready yet. I think the goal would be the end of the month. I could probably, if I get, end of the week.
And does Squarespace let you run a blog like Webflow does or WordPress does? Like, how are you going to push this content out?
Yeah, so it's going to be a website with a blog, and then I'll have a newsletter sign up at the bottom. And the goal would be the newsletters would be short snippets of the blog, and then eventually I'll be interviewing other industry engineers in the industry, and then that would be the weekly content that I would be adding.
Cool.
Does that make sense? Or
yeah, totally. Yeah, I was just curious, like, what are you going to use for blogging? Because I don't know if Squarespace lets you. I mean, you have a new blog post. Going to Squarespace to like paste the thing in is, not going to be. Sorry, just had to boot somebody. It's not going to be like very effective for you. Or like, it's going to take you a lot of time. But like, I know Webflow, for example, as like a CMS, you can really easily add a new blog post. Obviously, WordPress has to, that's like the OG blogging platform. I just don't want you to spend all this time on Squarespace only to realize like, oh shit, I can't actually like post a blog. I don't know.
Yeah,
Squarespace
it has blog features. It allows you to do that. I think once I get this rolling and I've got, 50 people on a newsletter, then I could look at switching over to a WordPress and maybe making a nicer site. But I think really the content is what I got to be striving for right now. I could have done all of this with Substack, but I didn't. I wanted to put a little bit more effort.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, gentlemen. Unless there's any other questions, or you guys want to just hang out and chat. Hope you guys have a great rest of your weekend. And let me know if I can do anything. Oh, was the AMA helpful? Was that cool?
It was amazing. Like, at least from my point of view, like how to say that, it went above my expectations. Definitely, it was really good.
Yes.
I don't remember his name, but he had like some really good ideas regarding how to follow up a sale and so on, especially with linking. That's pretty impressive.
Cool. All right, so I can try and do more of those. Yeah, next week we have one that's just the guy. I asked him to come on video. He said his English kind of sucks, so he'd prefer to just write things. But you guys know him from Indie Hackers. It's Zero to Marketing. It's the Zero to Marketing guy. So he was like, you guys can post, exact questions about your product, and he will respond. And so that'll be kind of like a cool async one. And then the following week, I'll try and get somebody else to come on and do another video one. But yeah, all right. Watch out for Jesko's product hunt launch on Monday, and I'll see you guys on Slack.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Thanks, Andrew.
All right. Thanks.
Bye,
Have a good
guys.
week.
Take care. Bye.
Ciao.
See you guys.